Yo, what's happening, baby? This is the Flaming Sword Music, and I'm Constantine Khan. You know, something dawned on me about a week or two ago. You know, as I was perusing my usual, YouTube research thing in order to create content for the Flaming Sword, something kind of dawned on me, and it made me feel some kind of way, but I really don't know how to feel about it, so I'm just going to discuss it. And what dawned on me was the fact that, you know, a lot of these black media content creators are way more effective at promoting racism or white supremacy than the white supremacists are. Like most white supremacist groups, or like if you go on YouTube or any social media content type of thing, or you go into the media or the press or anything like that, like white supremacists are on the fringes, of the media. They're on the fringes. But when it comes to white supremacy being promoted and all of that stuff, it's being done on black channels. You know, our people promote white supremacy and you want to call it gaslighting, I guess, but you actually are putting white supremacy on the agenda. And the thing about it with me, I might be, what I'm saying, rambling a little bit. But the thing with me is that I understand that you can't refute something without putting yourself there. So to me, the danger of so-called refuting white supremacy means that you have to address their logic. You have to adapt your mindset to their logic just to refute it. And once that happens, there is no refuting it. You know, a lot of people come and they get into the web realm and the internet realm, and they try to refute white supremacy. But I am of the understanding that you can't. There's no way that you could walk on someone's turf and refute what they're talking about. So to me, it turns into like it's not about racism. It's also about sexism, ageism, like healthism. Like if you're mentally, if you're mentally challenged or whatnot. And it also, it comes down to everything, like any type of separatism. Crips versus the Bloods, folks versus the peoples. That's white supremacy in action. Because people think that, oh, since the white folks are so strong and so powerful, maybe we need to adopt their tactics. I don't know if that's actually what it is. But once you enter into an arena with somebody, you can't refute somebody argument on your grounds. You have to come over to their position and refute it from there. And I feel like that's the trap. That's the game. Like a lot of people want to refute racism. They want to refute white supremacy. But you can't do it without stepping into their logic and like they say, for the sake of an argument, or hypothetically speaking, this is that is this. You have to do that in order to argue with white supremacy. So when you do that, ultimately what you're doing is placing yourself within white supremacy. So everything that comes out of your mouth, whether you think you're refuting white supremacy or not, you're actually confirming it. And that's like an argument that it doesn't even matter whether we're talking about the red pill argument, man-woman relations, like I said, gang banging. All of that stuff is based off of white supremacy or the premises of white supremacy. And by white supremacy, I don't mean white people. I mean white men. There is a specific, because in white supremacy, women are whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the things that we discuss, like pedophilia and all that stuff has nothing to do with women. It's all about men. You can look it up, but it's all about. So when you try to refute white supremacy, in a weird way, you're actually confirming it, because you have to present the points, whatever points you want to refute. If you are scholastically, if you have some scholastic integrity, you're going to cite your sources. You're going to point your viewership to the arguments of white supremacy and trust that they have the same intellectual leverage that you have. 9 times out of 10, they don't. So a lot of times, like when they say females gravitate towards power, it ain't just females. I mean, like, we are evenly male and female, so the female in us is going to gravitate towards the power, if you want to say it like that. But having said it like that, we need to understand that there is no refutation of white supremacy if you address white supremacy from the basis of white supremacy. As bad as you can talk about it, nothing's really going to happen because you're speaking from that perspective. That's why so many, people who, were, or the descendants of so many people who were involved in the slave trade keep saying, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? And we need to take that advice, because as long as we remember it, that shit gains power. It gains what they say, rent in your head. That's what they say nowadays. I'm living rent free in your head. We don't need slaves. So in a weird way, when people say, yo, forget about slavery, you should forget about that shit. I ain't never been a slave. I don't remember slavery. So why should I even have to forget about it? But you can't let these things live rent free in your head. Because if these things live rent free in your head, they pretty much control your thought process. And if they control your thought process, there's really no way you can get around being a black white supremacist. You're going to adopt all of that just in order to refute it. Sometimes they say because of or in spite of. And it's the in spite of argument. But the in spite of argument also gives a gang of weight. It pretty much says that what the white supremacists are saying is true, and we need to adjust to it. But if you don't accept that as true, then the conversation totally changes. I'm gonna slide off real fast. I don't even know if this is gonna be the video that I post. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I don't even know if this gonna be the video that I post, but I'm gonna slide off real fast. But we need to understand, if you meet people on their grounds, you're with them, whether you're with them or against them. You know, I read in the Bible that a true friend meets his friends on their grounds. So if you're willing to even discuss white supremacy, you are meeting white supremacists on their grounds. So regardless of what you got to say, how slick it is, or whether you think it's refuting it or not, they are winning. So we need to really figure out a way to just blow past this white supremacy shit, blow past this racism shit, blow past this slavery shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it really doesn't matter. And it might or might not be true. Me, myself, personally, irregardless of whether slavery actually happened or happened, I choose to take the position that it didn't happen. Or if it did happen, it was not a successful, manifestation of the slavery process. And the reason why I say that is because it gives me freedom. If I was to walk around through life saying, oh, I'm a slave, my ancestors are slaves, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, that dictates how I move. And I don't want nothing to dictate how I move. So I would rather deny it and leave myself my freedom that I exist with right now because, I was born in 1977. So if slavery was all that, I would have been born in slavery. But since I wasn't, I would rather adopt any type of psychology, any type of intellectual movement that says slavery didn't exist. In my mind, slavery didn't exist. I don't give a fuck what nobody say because I'm not moving through life in a situation where I am the victim. Bullshit. I'm the GOAT. I hope you guys have got something out of this. This is Kamseen Khan with a flaming sword musing. Be blessings and be blessed. One.